So the Premier League's title race for this season might only be between two clubs. It is very close because City and Liverpool are currently divided by just a solitary point. But that's not the only place where the competition is very tight, because as you can see on our screen, we're talking about the race for the top four, and there are 6 clubs currently competing for what will essentially be 2 positions. Hello everyone, welcome to this little video of ours. My name is Shane Dias, that is Siddhant Maheshwari, and let's talk football.
Let's talk football, and let's first talk about how Chelsea are probably in a they're going to make
decent
it.
position.
They're going to make it, guys. Let's be fair to Chelsea. I think all these clubs below Chelsea are fighting for that
Top
one
4
Champions League spot, and it's really important because you get lots more money, exposure, sponsors.
You also get the chance to sign the best players.
Yeah, so I think so. Champions League is a huge thing. Arsenal failed last time around. Tottenham failed last time around. United were there, by the way. United finished 3rd, if I'm not wrong, last season. But this season they are now in the 7th spot, and because I've got a soft spot for them, I'm going to talk about them specially. But we're going to look at the other sides also in this video. We're going to talk about Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham, Man United, and Wolves, and we also have to talk about the fact that they all have played different number of games, and that's going to make a difference as the league progresses.
For sure, because I mean, if you look at Chelsea, who are probably favourites to finish 3rd, they've played 29 games. Arsenal at this point, favourites to finish 4th, also played 29 games. West Ham and Wolves have played 31. That means 7 games, and they most likely have to not only win them all, but also hope that the others drop points.
That's true. Also, the fact that Arsenal, because they would have had a bigger lead, by the way, they would have gone to 57 points if they would have beaten Crystal Palace at the last weekend.
This week.
That was Monday Night Football, actually. They defeated Crystal Palace. They lost to Crystal Palace in Monday Night Football, but they still have more games in hand than anybody else. So let's look at. Wait a minute.
Go back.
So yes, a historical perspective, and Shane got these stats for us.
Yeah, so what we can see, as you can notice by this little graphic, is that in recent years, I think this is also a fact that is, the league has become more competitive among the mid-table sides, but you're needing less points to finish in the top 4. So 2020-21, Chelsea finished 4th with 67 points. The previous year, they needed 66 to finish in 4th. So that was 2019-20, when they actually sealed their top 4 finish pretty much on the last day of the league. But if we go back even further, you see 2018-19 Tottenham finished first with 71 points. That is 4 points more needed in the previous season, and the trend keeps going because Liverpool in 2017-18 needed 75 points, and in 2016-17 needed 76 points.
Wow.
The good news is this means that for the teams that are competing, they probably need to see the 65-66 as something of a benchmark, but it could be even more tight because there's so many clubs this time.
There's so many clubs in the race, and some of them are playing each other.
So practically all of them are.
That's going to make a huge difference.
Yes.
But Chelsea were a little lucky also towards the end of last season and the season before that, because you saw somebody like a Leicester who were actually
3rd at one point.
At one point, were part of the top 4 for the longest part of the season, and then suddenly at the end they went out of the top 4.
See, at least 2021 I could forgive them because they had the FA Cup final against Chelsea, which they won. But after that, winning the FA Cup, great, but you need to be in the Champions League.
So hold on, guys. So 67 points last season and 66 points, that is going to be a benchmark for now, because we have seen the league has gotten more competitive. So if we look at that perspective, you look at these clubs, okay, 54 points. So Chelsea practically there. Chelsea just needs 3-4 wins.
At this most point to probably seal the top 4 spot
out of their 9 games.
Yes,
4 wins out of 9 games, they'll definitely make it. Tottenham, they need around say
12 points. 50. So again 4.
I'm actually taking around 67 points to be the benchmark.
So they need 4 wins and a draw by that.
So 13 points they need.
Same with Arsenal.
4 wins and a draw from their 8 games.
Yes.
Okay. And Arsenal same, but they've got a game extra game in hand. West Ham are going to find it hard.
West Ham, United and Wolves, in fact Wolves are outside contenders at this point because
they're already low on points, and they've played a game extra than
West Ham and
else.
United are in similar circumstances, but United played a game less.
So United, they need 16 points out of their
around that much.
So at least at an average they need 2 points per game.
Yeah, which means a lot of wins.
So they need,
for
if 8 games are there, they need to win 6 games to have a place in the top 4. So now let's look at the remaining fixtures for all these sides. And Chelsea we'll talk about briefly because they are the favourites, but because they lost that game against Crystal Palace, we thought we should discuss it.
Brentford.
Yeah.
Brentford.
I'm my bad.
That's Arsenal against.
I keep getting confused.
And they have quite a few actually tough games when you look at it. I mean, the United game, if you're wondering why there's an asterisk, is because that game hasn't been scheduled yet. It was one of those fixtures which was called off. But Southampton away, never easy. Arsenal at home, West Ham at home. Actually, the only real easy fixtures which I can pick out here would be Everton away, who FYI managed by former Frank Lampard, and Watford at home. They're the only easy games really. Every single one of them. Otherwise,
even Southampton have been playing decently.
Yes,
but you expect this Chelsea side
to get
those points.
Yes, you would. They are definitely the favourites.
Even though they play United, Arsenal, West Ham, Leicester, Wolves also, by the way. Wolves are also going to make
Wolves are very decent side.
So yeah, Chelsea are going to make it. I don't want to discuss them that much. Tottenham currently fourth,
and who have undergone a renaissance of sorts, because everyone thought that Conte would probably walk by the end of the season. So bad were the results, but they finally seem to be buying into his system. Dejan Kulusevski has been a revelation as a signing. He's been really, really good. He's taken off some of the goal scoring load of Son and Kane, who themselves have finally hit form. And I'm
a huge Son fan. I
like that guy. I like that guy.
That one goal, if I have to pick from my recent memory, that everybody can remember, is that goal against Burnley.
Oh yes.
Where he took the ball almost from his own box.
Yes, he did.
Like a little further from his box, and then just like kept going.
He ran and
scored.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge Son fan.
It was after that match when Mourinho, who's then the Spurs manager, revealed that his own son used to call Son Heung-min Sonaldo Nazario. After naming him after, of course, Ronaldo Nazario.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Spurs fixtures, I mean, Aston Villa, tricky fixture.
Because Gerrard's side have been doing well.
Very well. Brighton, you would expect them to beat at home, especially considering how long they like to dominate possession.
Graham Potter's side started this season so well.
So well.
And then they just drifted off.
But then, see, Brighton are not a team that
No, but at one point, everybody thought that they could make it to the Europa League.
They did, yes.
But Brighton have drifted off and are not playing that well anymore.
Brighton
I expect them to win.
Yes.
Brentford, I expect them to win.
Leicester too.
Leicester also. Liverpool, they're going to lose, I feel.
See, Norwich is the only other one, and maybe Burnley.
Burnley also.
But Liverpool, Arsenal.
Because Burnley are in the relegation battle right now.
Yes, they are.
Burnley and Norwich
are pretty much relegated.
So I think they need 4 wins and 1 draw.
Yes, they could actually get that.
1 win here, 2-3 wins here,
and maybe 1 here, and maybe a decent result against the other 4 could see them, actually really up in the mix.
I think they have also got a great chance of making it.
Especially, if you look at form and momentum, they've kicked in at the right time of the season. So, I do think they are favourites.
And the fixture, at least in comparison to Chelsea, looks a little easier.
Yes. Even for Arsenal, for that matter, if we can check, they do have some tough games.
Arsenal, who are currently in 5th, have a game in hand and are at 51 points, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, 51 points.
51 or 50? No, they are at 54 points.
Is it?
They are at 54 points. Arsenal 54 points.
Arsenal 54 points.
So they have a game in hand. They can actually, if they do better than Tottenham, they can go past Tottenham.
But their fixture list is not an enviable one at all. Look at that. Brighton easy, Southampton you expect them, but Chelsea, United, West Ham, Tottenham, Newcastle. That's 5 very tough games. And people might laugh at me saying Newcastle, but
Newcastle have really done
They've invested heavily in January, and that team is really clicking under Eddie Howe.
Then you get owners from the Middle East. You gotta do well.
You'd remember that. I mean, considering noisy neighbors.
Noisy neighbors. City, we have seen what has happened to them.
Yes. So these 5 fixtures are not going to be easy ones. So
I don't think Southampton is also going to be easy.
It won't be. It won't be at all. That's the thing. Even Leeds
playing
under
at
Jesse
St.
Marsh.
Mary's is not going to be easy at all.
Even Leeds under Jesse Marsh have been,
decent. Like they've improved.
Yes.
Bielsa went off.
What a legend. But this is, I think, the hardest of the fixture list. So Arsenal fans are optimistic as they should be, but it's not an enviable fixture list for sure.
Okay, so I think Chelsea tricky, United tricky, West Ham tricky, Tottenham tricky,
and Newcastle. These are the 5 arguably trickiest of this 8. So
And I think so. Southampton are also going to be a little tricky.
Exactly.
So with the way they lost to Crystal Palace, who, by the way, I have to say played really well.
Really well.
They are also going to find it a little difficult.
Yeah, definitely. It's not an easy run, but I can understand the optimism from Arsenal fans. They've been in an upturn, been playing well enough, but let's see.
But with the way United have been playing, you never know, they could beat United also.
The thing with United right now is they're very Jekyll and Hyde. One day they're playing really, really well. Next day you think, how are these guys
Which
playing?
day are you talking about? United are playing like only one character, and that's
Hyde.
Mr. Hyde. Because they've been horrible. Every time you look at them, you think that maybe they're going to win it. Then comes a draw. Then they lose 1-0. Then 1-1 draw. I just haven't enjoyed this United side play under Ralph Rangnick. Everybody's talking about whatever. And now let's talk about...
Well, let's actually go back because West Ham
are in the middle, and I'm going to talk about United.
Yeah. So West Ham also have an interesting run because you would expect them to beat Brentford and Burnley. Chelsea, Arsenal a challenge. Norwich, who they will beat. But again,
City, they are losing.
City and Brighton, but I think they should beat. But again, City, Arsenal, Chelsea. These are going to be the three.
Also, they've played a game extra. So
yeah, that's another thing.
They're on 51 points.
So yes, they might actually,
So they need 16 more points. They need to win.
And they'll also be reliant on others dropping points.
They have to win 6 games out of their 7, if I'm not wrong.
That is a little tough.
In a way to have
any
that
shout.
Sort of,
yeah, they might
not shout. I think that they're going to make it if they win those 6 games.
They might make it to the Europa League again, which is again not bad considering West Ham they're not really big spenders. They've actually
the last 2 seasons have been really good for them that way.
And they've been signing.
That is when once they were struggling and the club supporters had also lost interest.
Yes.
You remember the protest that took place.
Yes, against the ownership.
So they've changed.
So Moisey's done really well, full credit.
And they've done so much better. They've got good players in the side.
Yeah, and their scouting has been really good in that.
And players like Bowen and all have all improved as the season has gone on.
Yes.
So you expect them to do well, but a top 4 finish, I don't think so, guys.
It doesn't seem likely at this point.
And now, my club with Mr. Ralph Rangnick at the helm.
See, look, some of those fixtures are actually not that hard. Chelsea one aside, Liverpool, Arsenal. The other 4 are 5. In fact, are fairly winnable games.
No, but the way Palace beat Arsenal, I don't count it as an easy game.
But again, Brighton, Brentford, you would expect to win. Everton, Norwich, 2.
So 4 games expected to win, right?
Yeah.
They need 6 victories at least. So they'll have to defeat Chelsea.
One of Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, or Palace.
So they have to, I believe Liverpool then, because as we have seen in the past,
they're probably favourites to win the league at this point.
Liverpool not the favourite. I think so. It's gonna go down to the wire.
One of the favourites alongside City.
Liverpool and City, and it's gonna be an interesting challenge because over the years we saw one club win it and the other clubs not like. Somebody was a far too second like that.
I think 18-19 and 18-19 in fact was very close because remember Liverpool lost out by like a 1 point or something like that. Yeah, that was a close season. 19-20 Liverpool romped. And even last season City were comfortable runaway winners.
Yeah, so this season it's again going to be interesting. But United for now, I think it's going to be hard for them to also qualify for.
And United were in the Champions League this season, so winning the Europa League is not an option to actually qualify.
Yeah, if they would have gone on in the group stages, then they would have
had a better chance.
Europa League. Yes, but then they lost to Atletico Madrid in the round of 16, and now unfortunately, they will need to make it the traditional way, get a top 4 finish. And as a United fan, it breaks my heart to see that it's going to be another season where we might not qualify for the Champions League.
And there's also a lot of flux regarding the managerial situation, player contracts.
Yeah, I think so. I think the managerial situation is the bigger problem because you can't be expecting to draw that great talent to your side if somebody who's an interim manager is also not doing well. And by the way, he's gonna take a bigger role next season.
He's gonna take a consultancy
role, but bigger role, even though they are gonna look at a different manager. But my point is, somebody who has not performed as a manager, you expect him to take a bigger role in sort of the management. I
understand that, but you also have to remember that Rangnick's 2 best his times as a manager or even at the top have come in Germany at times when he's had to rebuild a club. So it was at Schalke was one and the other was RB Leipzig. So he's done well at both of those when he's been given the reign to set up the entire organizational thing.
The Gegenpress. Where is it? I every time I see United play, I like, oh my God.
You see it in the first half.
No, this side doesn't even dominate. My problem is, even if there are other sides who are attacking far more, United's counter-attacking ability was world class.
Yeah.
Okay, back then. Now, I don't know what is happening.
One of the problems...
They're talking about Pochettino, they are talking about Luis Enrique, they are talking about Eric Ten Hag.
Luis Enrique is unlikely. He wants to lead Spain to the World Cup.
I really don't know what's going to happen, guys. As a United fan, it's sort of very disappointing.
So, you also just interrupting this, but if you want either one of us to do a deep dive on what United need to do right, drop it in the comments. We'll be more than happy to do it. So anyway,
I'm not going to be happy. I have to.
I'll do it.
I'll still do the video for you guys.
Yeah, because we love you guys.
Now the last club,
and they're absolutely within an outside chance. But you have to give Wolves some credit. They lost an arguably generational manager in Nuno Espirito Santo
to Tottenham, who by the way then had to let
him go in like so
Nuno.
quick time. But with Bruno Lage, they've actually gone to the next level in terms of style of play. One of the criticisms of Nuno was very defensive a lot of the time. Nuno.
Yeah.
Bruno, on the other hand, has come in here and they've lost. Lest we forget, they lost Adama Traore recently to Barcelona. There is a chance they might lose both João Moutinho and Ruben Neves in the summer. So
their midfield has been actually very good.
Yes.
And Neves again has been scoring goals from outside the box.
And he's gotten Raul Jimenez firing after that horrible head injury.
Yes.
So, full credit to the kind of job he's done with somewhat limited resources, you could say. And they actually do have an outside chance. And the fixtures really aren't that tough. City.
No, but you have to understand they are on 49 points. Okay, 49 points. They have played a game extra.
Yeah.
Than somebody like a United. So they have got 7 games. And 7 games out of those 7 games, they have got 4 Chelsea,
which are
Liverpool and City.
And Newcastle.
Newcastle, I'm saying like 3 games that you would expect them to lose.
Yeah.
Okay. And those are City, Chelsea, Liverpool.
Yeah. Very tough games.
So I don't think they're going to make it to the top 4. And don't think they are also thinking on those lines.
Yeah, they actually would be targeting a Europa League finish at this point, which is very good for them.
Yeah, Conference League maybe.
The Conference League, no, I think Europa is a possibility.
Europa is a possibility, but let's see how it goes.
Yeah. So, as we said, we've included them because, as we said, they have an outside chance. It's not an inside chance. Again, I still maintain my favourites for that top 4 would most likely be one of the North London clubs. So, either Spurs or Arsenal. And correct me if I'm wrong, but they do play each other in one of those occasions, do they? Let's go back and check. No, that's Chelsea. They do and
play each other.
It's another
North London derby.
Yeah, and that will be very key to their hopes. And they are definitely the 2 favourites along with Chelsea to make those top 4 slots.
But as you saw, we talked about how many points it's going to be. We took it at 67, 68 points that a team needs to be there in the top 4.
It could very well be less.
It could be less also because you never know how teams are going to fare against other sides, and because the Premier League is so competitive, even the sides in the relegation zone can go on to beat you. And that we have seen in the past. Burnley have defeated teams.
Yeah.
And so we keep seeing that. And with Premier League, you can never say for sure.
Yeah.
But we thought we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive in terms of how many points the teams would need and what are their fixtures and how many victories they would
because we enjoy little things like these. We are sport nuts and we enjoy delving deeper into all facets.
And also because I want to do this because United fan boss.
He wants some optimism.
Even though Ralph Rangnick gives me nothing.
No optimism.
Nothing, but
he gave us Thomas Tuchel though, so I'm very thankful for that.
So do let us know what you make of this video and who do you think are gonna be in the top 4 in the comments below. And by the way, guys, we love doing such content for you.
So please show it a lot of love, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, share it everywhere. Help us in this little journey of ours, and be a part of it, and don't forget to subscribe and stay in touch with everything it is that we do. We have a lot of stuff coming still. This is not the beginning, this is not the end, it's just the beginning. So thank you for joining us. Goodbye for now.